Good afternoon, good morning. The sine rule. We use the sine rule when we've got two angles and one side and we want to find out a second side, or when we've got two sides and one angle and we want to find out a second angle. So first of all we're going to find out a second side when we've got two angles here. The sine rule is A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. It's also equal to C over sine C. The ratio is the same across all three sides, but we normally only use two of them at any one time. So my triangle here, I've actually got two angles. I want to find out that second side, so I'm going to use this form of the sine rule. This is normally on the front of exam papers too, so you don't have to learn it. So in our case, x over sine x is equal to y over sine y. Remember, the little letters are the lengths of the sides and the big letters are the size of the angle. So substituting it is going to give me x over sine 45 is equal to 9 over sine 85, matching up the letters with all the numbers there. Rearranging it to give us x is 9 times sine 45 over sine 85, and that just then gives us an answer of x is 6.4 centimetres. Of course, pressing the sine buttons on the calculator here. Over to the second type of example, and that is now where I've got two sides, but I want to find the second angle. So what I tend to do here is I tend to turn the standard formula upside down. That's perfectly allowed, providing you turn everything upside down. So you turn the A's upside down and the B's upside down, and that gives us a more workable form to find out the sine of the angle. We've got sine p over little p now, and sine n over little n for our sides. So let's label our triangle up here. So you can see the little p is there because that's opposite the question mark, the angle we want to find, and the little n goes here. And for completeness, the little n goes there. But we don't actually need to use that. Okay, so in other words, we're going to have sine p then over 16, because there's that little p there, is equal to sine 80 over 35. We can rearrange it, so sine p is equal to 16 times sine 80 all over 35, and if I put that in the calculator, I go and that gives us 0.281. So p then, we want to find what p is. We've got to have we've got sine of p there, so we need to do inverse sine, so it's going to be sine to the minus 1 of 0.281, so sine to the minus 1 there. And that's equal to, now to do sine to the minus 1, then we press our second function or our shift key on the calculator, followed by the sine. So it's shift sine 0.281 equals, and that comes out to be 16 degrees. It's actually 16.3, but we'll call it 16 to the nearest degree. So there we go, 16 degrees would be the angle in there. So there we have it, the sine rule, the two cases when we use the sine rule. When we're trying to find a second side, if we've got two angles, or a second angle if we have two sides.